Hello, everybody. Testing the live stream. We are testing the live stream. I'm going to see how we're doing here. Can you see me? How do I sound? How do I look? We've been having some issues, and that's why we are not live now. It looks like we are live. We are live. Fabulous. We apologize. We were having some technical difficulties. We hope to have Don and be ready at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock for something from nothing episode. So I am going to switch cameras and get to the business of getting Don here with me. I hope you're doing well. Grab a pencil, grab paper, grab whatever you have. We're going to be getting started soon. All righty. Now, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I need to go over to here. That. Right. Let's see what's going on here. Well, there I am. There I am. Things are looking, let's do this. Let's see here. All right. All righty, tidy, everybody. That was so crazy. I'm so thirsty. This technology stuff, this live streaming stuff has got me going crazy, y'all. Go Phillies. Everything is all over the place because I was trying to let's see here, get everything together. So we're live streaming here. This is good. Been live streaming for 3 minutes now. Okay, wait. Let's get over there. Let's see. All right. Okay, I am live. Hey, I know that's crazy. It's test 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 3. Just want to make sure you can hear me okay. Anyone out there, if you can hear me okay, that would be great. I'd love to hear that all is well. Okay. Um, Test 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 3. All right. I did my own personal test. All is well. Oh my God. I got a little heart in the corner. Oh, all right. And if you are watching, please, I see that someone is checking us out right now. Please, in the comments section, just first of all, just like this video. I need you to like this video. It took me forever to go live. I tell you, they're changing the way things look. Oh my goodness. It's just I don't know what to do with myself. But I'm not alone anymore. Hi. I'm not alone anymore. This agent stuff, this is now you unmute yourself, okay? Because I can't hear you. And then I sent it to Don, and now but anyway, today we're going to be talking about making something from nothing, which is what I did today. Um, just a little something. And I have to laugh because I thought I was going to have to go through the whole process from the beginning with Zoom because we use Zoom. And it's just a lot easier with different devices. But I don't know. I think I need to find another streaming service or just, I don't know. This is cloud-based. Everything is cloud-based. And that's supposed to be more helpful, because it doesn't slow down your computer. And because it's in a cloud, it's supposed to be easier for people to connect to. So unless I can find something better than Zoom for everybody to be able to come in, that would be great. So anyway, I sent information to Don. We're going to try to do this at 7 o'clock. Get your paper. I've got stuff paper. I'm going to move my phone over out of the way. Get my no erasers because we've been using markers. We've been going strong with that. The irony of my one camera is better than my laptop camera. Let's see. Yeah, it's not too bad. But I only, to do this. But anyway, so I have Sharpie markers because that's what we've been working with. I have some ones, a fat one. Everybody, I got a fat one, regular size one. Another one, the Sharpie that's a little thinner, micro, and hopefully we can get Don here again. But I'm just so happy to go live. But yeah. Listen, don't freak out when things just don't seem to work out. Just trust that you can bring it together somehow,
I was about to leave my apartment and go downstairs, see if I can get people to hang out with since there's no class.
Oh, well, I am so happy that you are here.
Thank you.
We are, let's see, we got one person on Twitch watching us. Hello from Twitch. Thanks for joining us. And then also on Facebook, there's one person watching us on Facebook. Thank you for joining us. Now hit that like button. Hit the like button. That's really helpful. Let us know how you're doing today. I would say one of the really interesting things about life is, how do you get other people inspire? How do you inspire other people to have a moment with creating art? So that's that's one of the things that I was having a conversation with Don about. And then we were like, yeah, we should talk about that. So um let me see if I can real quick. Okay, make sure he got the message. Uh
Art keeps me company.
Yes, 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 that's true. Okay, so I got my little stock paper right here. And so I was thinking about flowers and everything. And I don't know, are you working on something right now yourself?
I'm just sketching, doodling these guys.
Oh, okay, pull it back a little bit. Let me see if it'll focus on it.
Think
Oh,
it,
you know what it is? It's because you got the blurred background. I understand. Yeah. Oh, maybe put it close to your face. Yep, there you go. That's what you get. Oh, there it is. Yep. Okay. That reminds me of one session Don and I, well, it was a class, and where is it? It was really interesting. So we did a pattern like that. And then also inside of the blocks, we put symbols. And so that kind of just that was a lot of fun. I liked that a lot. So um I thought that was super cool.
this is kind of
Yeah.
3D. I can't really tell it from my picture, but it kind of flows over like it's going up the top of a curve.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was another one of the suggestions that Don likes to make. It's like take your marks, have them go off the page. Sometimes we think, oh, we got to create a square and we just keep everything inside the lines, not go outside the lines. And we're worried about drawing on a table or whatever. Like I have just the sheet of paper on my desk. And so if I'm sitting here and I'm doing this, I would be worried about, am I going to make marks on my desk? You can't be worried about that. You got to be like, no, it doesn't matter. We're gonna make marks. We're gonna make marks everywhere. So I don't know. So one of the things was like, okay, so if we're doing flowers, I think of happy flowers. Uh, and then I think of I forget, daisies. What we think daisies would look like. Like they make you feel kind of happy. They make me feel a little happy when I see daisies. Now I'm going to take this. While we're waiting for Don, we are just going to just go ahead and do our thing. I'm going to switch cameras if I can. Let's see here. And I know it can get kind of frustrating. I was frustrated for about almost a good hour of frustration. Okay, there's my little daisy. So now I'm going to make it another suggestion. Change the size of what you're drawing. Have them overlap. right, so I'll take, make some smaller. We are, yeah, buddy. I heard the ding. I'm gonna make mine a little bit smaller. I'm happy now that we're live. That's all I gotta say. I'm so happy I'm drawing flowers. I'm drawing happy flowers. I'm in search of happiness. I'm gonna fill this all up with happy flowers.
What type of flower?
I think it's a daisy. I think that's what I'm going for. I'm going for the happy. You know what I was thinking of? Remember the old VW vans? They were like camper. A lot of people camped with them. The old VW, not the Bug, but the I forgot the name of the van, but they're making a comeback now. And they would have flowers on the van. Oh, it reminded me of the Partridge Family had flowers in their graphics as well that were like daisies. Yeah. And so I was just kind of touching on a conversation that we had started on Don the other day, and I wrote it down. How can two-dimensional art assist in a situation when there's language barriers? I've been getting a lot of that. So I'm working on that, y'all. How do you do it? I don't know. But I'm just going to keep drawing my flowers. I'm just waiting for all that goodness to just spill over. Oh, it's kind of interesting. You might have to add some color here. I hope we didn't lose Don.
No, you didn't lose Don. You're instructing. You're doing what you ultimately wanted to do always. So keep going.
Yeah, but I don't see you, Don.
Yeah, you don't see me. What you need me for? You're there. You're doing, what you ambitiously wanted to do.
Oh, Don, we enjoy your
Yeah,
thoughts,
doing.
direction. How are you coming along, Suran?
Um,
I think I need to make a big one. Yes, I think I need to make a nice, good old big one. Why is this so important? This is what I want to know. Why is this so important to have these moments? And why do I feel like a kid right now? I don't know what to tell y'all, except I was tripping when I couldn't go live earlier. So I apologize for that, folks. But I don't know. I really don't know. But that's kind of popping. I had one Sharpie that was starting to lose its life. And so it's a lot lighter. I think I need to go back to it because I think it's making me feel like there's depth to this.
Sure, if you want a weak line.
Mhm. A weak mind? How do you
Yeah,
mean? What do you mean?
just described a weak line.
A weak line. Oh, a weak line. I thought you said a weak mind.
No, I said a weak line.
Okay. Uh,
You don't
I,
need me going in your own lane right now.
I'm not in any lane. I'm just drawing because I
Yeah.
lost my mind for a second there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. But I would just say this. I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. I'm just drawing.
But you
Draw.
just said what you were doing, so how do you not know what you're doing?
I don't know where I'm going with this, except I'm having a moment.
Where you was going, so why don't you know where you're going?
I
You
don't
see,
know.
why
Insecurity.
are you going? I don't understand that. You said
Insecurity.
when you were saying you took it from the conversation of a two-dimensional idea, but what you forgot was the symbol idea. And your
Yeah,
symbol is flower, and that's why I asked you what type of flower. You said, I don't know. And that's when
yeah,
I got quiet.
yeah. I don't know because I don't know where I'm going. I just started doing, Don. I just started drawing after I got stressed for a
Yeah, but
second here.
sounding too as well. So it sounded like you had it. I just sat back and watched.
I don't have it.
You got it. You're doing something. You got something that looks like a daisy going, a whole bunch of
Yeah.
little makeshift daisies going. The mission is, how do you make that happy? You can't just say happy. You have to make it happy. How do you,
Uh, that's a good question. How do I make these happy? Color?
why do you
Uh,
just make the color if we just messing with line? How do you make happy lines? What
I,
do
I,
happy lines look like?
I can put happy faces in there.
You're copying out. What's a happy line? You
I
see what
have,
I'm,
I
what is
don't,
line?
what,
What
what
is a
is
happy line when it comes to a floral idea?
happy line?
When it
Uh,
comes to a floral idea,
I don't know. Uh,
you pick the flower. You said it's something like a daisy. I don't know. So then, what other shapes or movements can a daisy go in that can be perceived as a happy thing?
as a happy thing. It could blow in the wind. It could,
I'm just asking the question. You have accumulation of daisies on the page. You're saying
yeah,
you want to make it happy. You
yeah.
have clean lines. You want to use what I was calling a weak line because it doesn't have enough of the material behind it in the stroke. So you're going to leave weak material behind.
Mhm,
Yeah. So it's going to make a weak line. Is that wrong? Is that right? No.
mhm,
It's a timing thing. Is it
mhm.
really giving you depth of scale? I don't know. Based upon the accumulation, we
Right,
have to see it. So when you say it, we have to see it.
right.
Happy can be a multitude of things. Happy can be the movement in the wind. Happy
Mhm,
can be a number.
right. That's true.
You
I could
started.
have I could have petals fall off.
Well, is petals falling off a symbol of happiness?
If 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 it's whimsical falling,
Notice how I got quiet. I don't know about whimsical falling. Things falling. How do you make things falling look happy when falling seems like something that's falling towards a negative?
I don't know. Unless they're flowing upward.
How about
You know,
turning towards the sun?
Huh?
How about turning towards the sun?
That could be cool. Then I could draw a sun. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Symbol. Symbol.
direction you want going. You got the drawing going. I mean,
Yeah,
what is
okay.
happy? You got to understand what is happy to you. What is happy? What is a happy line? Do you need a
Um,
sun in there to make it happy? Do you need a face to make it happy? Can a
no.
line be happy? Can a movement and accumulation of lines be happy?
Yeah, I think
Can
so.
an individual to be happy about doing a happy line?
Yeah.
Is it the individual that makes the line happy?
I think symbolically, well, so we're dealing in black and white right now and gray. So how do you make that happy?
I was just going into it with you. You're just getting flustered because you want to go straight to color and happy faces to make happy.
Yeah.
That's what the whole problem is. That's all the problem is.
I know.
Towards things that just gonna make it, oh, all right, I'll make it so happy. I'll put a happy face. No. You wanted to know the real of what artists really go through. And then when you're trying to help somebody else,
Yeah,
find happiness, you gotta have the happiness first.
that's
How
true.
are we gonna be happy if you're not happy? How are we
That's,
gonna be happy if you don't dictate the terms of happy?
yeah, that's true.
You see, we can't just jump in. We're jumping in. Okay, happy may be something different to each one of us at this point.
Hmm.
Sue Ann said, turning towards the sun. Yeah, that's a symbol of being happy, but we didn't start off with an idea of a sun even being in there.
Hmm.
So is that just to make it easier or to make it what we think is easier to resolve the issue or the idea of what is happy? Yeah, I know it's a real deep one to think about when it comes to what we were saying. You said it earlier, a two-dimensional idea that helps to alleviate or to become an alternative to a behavioral action.
Hmm.
You know, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging for so long. I just want to see
Yeah.
how everybody's emotions, the emotions got all flicked a little bit. No, see how that sun
What?
is, that sun doesn't even go with what your flowers look more happy now because of the differences between the sun and the flower shape.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like, so was that sun even needed then?
I
You,
don't
you see what
know.
I'm saying? You
I-
wanted to start the drawing, you got to say to yourself, what's going on? When you formulate pieces that look like they're underneath, what are you formulating? Is
Mhm.
that a daisy or what is that?
Mm. Mhm.
Nah, see, you're not getting your emotions getting in place. I hear it. You know what I mean?
I'm like listening to you. I'm like,
Because then now you see when ambitions is there to want to do it, you have to really look at yourself and say, okay, what is happy? You drop the marks down, that's starting the navigation on the ship. You
mhm.
know what I mean? Now we're going towards flowers and how flower shapes, but I believe it was the lotus flower we was talking about. Candace,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't
I
want to
had,
know why, because you was worried about, well, how do I make it look like a lotus flower? What does a lotus flower look like? And
right.
all that stuff. But
Mhm.
doesn't a lotus flower kind of look like an iris almost?
It does a little bit, yes.
So
Yeah.
then, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You went with the idea, but you didn't go for the real oomph of what we were saying. You would have went for the lotus, you would have
Mhm.
got it. You just threw Shasta daisies in there because it's the easiest thing, like the Happy Patch. The
Well,
chuckle and
yeah,
I forget the name of that thing that I used to watch in the '70s, man. Yeah, everybody you should know it. It had the chuckle pack, the new Zoo Review. There you go.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they had the chuckle patch, hi, 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 all that good stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
man.
Mhm.
Come on now. All right, let me see here. Let me get over here and take Don's drawing of his face off, the extrovert.
Mhm.
And let's say, hey, everybody, look at the eyes there. Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, super
Yeah.
cool.
No, that's symbols again. Those two pieces is called Gnosis 1 and 2, right?
Mhm.
And they're
Mhm.
going to be in a show coming up for December and January over at James Dupree Gallery. He has a gallery over. He used to have one in Philly, South Philly, and he has another one over in Lambertville, New Jersey. So I'll
Mhm.
be showing those two pieces in an up and coming show. He has 12 by 12-inch pieces from over 70 artists that's going to show their interpretation on 12 inches. And there you have it. I had pulled out two smaller, older pieces I had, touched them up a little bit, put them on the required surfaces that he asked for, and there we got it. Gnosis 1 and 2. And it's a symbol. What's Gnosis?
Mhm.
Knowledge.
Mhm. Sweet.
So it's a symbol for the idea of what is what is knowledge, or how do you obtain knowledge?
Mhm.
So then that's when we come over here and I switch my camera around now.
Mhm.
Now that there's no responses on that, we'll take it where we need to go. Let's see here. Turn the camera around. Spin over to our board here.
Mhm.
And let me get my markers out.
Mhm.
Keep talking, Nadine. Keep going.
Yeah, I will have to say, Don, you made a good point. When I added the sun in the corner, because I was thinking, yeah, sun would make things happy. And it was almost like I was above the sun, above the sun, looking down, and then the flowers. Like, I know
Look
that's
at
correct.
that you used for the sun. Does the
Yeah,
sun look aggressive or happy without a smiley face?
without a smiley face, it looks like it's
Aggressive.
beaming, it's aggressive, it's beaming light. Yeah, it's definitely beaming light.
Yeah, but then that beaming light, when you're two-dimensionally speaking, you use triangular. Could it be perceived as aggression? I don't
Hmm.
know. Or could it be
Yes,
perceived as another flower based upon how you put down the flower network you have already?
that's true. That's true. You
So
do have a
then
point.
happy. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. You
Mhm.
know, I've been talking for a while and doing the psychiatric stuff, man. I got a little grip on it, just a little bit, ladies. You know what I mean? And again,
Yeah,
how do you perceive this world, this third dimension world that you're in? Everybody want to say we're in a fourth dimension. Then, all right, we can debate that some other time. But
hmm,
you basically have three dimensions, right? Everybody. And we look
hmm,
around us and we have to utilize the things that's around us and in our environment to be able to express our thoughts and emotions at the time. So that's why I asked what motion or what movement would make you perceive happiness when you're not happy, when you may be stubborn. You may have somebody, that may be like, "Oh, why do I have to do these flowers?
hmm.
I don't want to do these flowers. They're stupid." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
You may
Stupid,
have somebody, come at it like that.
stupid flowers.
Right?
Yeah.
Be ready. You have to be ready for it.
Hmm.
Say for instance, you're doing this with your grandma or your great auntie, those people from the Great Depression eras and stuff.
Hmm.
Tell you quick, I ain't got no time to be playing with no flowers and drawing. Boy, I'm not creative. I ain't got no time for that. I gotta
Right.
get ready. Or who's making dinner? You know what I mean? Depending upon what your situation is, right?
Yeah, and it's like, how do you convince people to have a creative moment? Which is what we kind of touched on.
Yeah.
How do you inspire? Like I had a moment just a few moments ago, and then I was happy that we are live, because I didn't think it was going to happen. And then I was just like, we're just waiting for Don. Let's draw flowers. And then that's how it is. This is where we are.
Even within that, you gotta understand, you gotta stay on the mission.
I know I kind of strayed a little, y'all. See, I kind of strayed
Yeah,
a little from the
you didn't
mission.
stray little, you just, had a moment. You didn't
I had
stray
a
to
I
these
had a big
flowers.
moment.
Now, if you would have did cars or something, then I'd have been like, well,
What's going on with you, Nadine?
yeah, I thought we talked about candy flowers, you know?
Right. I
So with
honest,
daisies, I was okay. I just was like, okay, she may have forgotten,
no.
but yeah, let's just roll with it and see how she goes and see if Sue Ann's gonna, tote into as well, you know what I mean? And she said flowers towards the sun. That's a beautiful one, man.
Yeah, that
You know,
is.
but we didn't have our normal candid conversation before we come on through the three of us, and then some of that just comes out naturally. But now that she brought it up, I don't have anything in my little queue just yet. Nadine started us off on our highway. You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean? She started the engine, she started the car, she put the sails up. She's got got the boat rocking, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? She started with daisies, everybody. But what I was questioning before everybody thinks that I was trying to be antagonistic, what I was doing was just trying to get the understanding of, and so everybody gonna get the understanding is, what is a happy line?
Mhm.
Is a happy line a curved line or an angular line?
Mhm.
If we look around us, we don't really look at angular lines as being happy
That's
or
true.
loving. We always look at it as being some type of what we call as humans a negative reaction,
Mhm.
harm, something like this, or the results of harm. So
Mhm.
that's why I was bringing that up, Nadine, because if we use, can you see this where my arm is over here on the side here?
Yes, I can. It's
Okay,
looking good. You got it positioned nicely.
okay, cool, thanks. That's when we start thinking about, remember our ledger idea? You forgot about that one. And I understand because you wanted to get in a moment. And I was trying to use the moment for that reasoning too as well. So if we de-escalate you and make you happy, then it proves that it works. Well, it already started working because you felt good from what I heard from just starting your daisies off, man.
I was like, I feel good. And I'm
Yeah.
going to draw some daisies.
See
I
what I'm
feel
saying?
good.
That's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? That the very action of doing it is making you happy. If you're happy, the lines is happy. That's what I was trying to get you to see too as well. But if you're having any type of, imbalance, if we talk about the psychological aspect, then no, your lines are going to be unsure. They're not going to be confident within the idea that you started your mind off with. So
Yeah.
that's why we do a ledger. Like, okay, you have the sun moving in a movement like that. How could
Mhm.
we make that happier? Well, I would say we would have to make it more of a curve and invert the curve. See what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Going
Ooh.
back to the word you used earlier, whimsical.
Mhm. Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? You was where you needed
I
to be,
got
but
you. I got
I
you.
just poking you. You know what I mean? And poking you to see, where you really want to go. Or was it
Mhm.
just the knee jerk? How do we go with the knee jerk? And how do we go with real intent?
Mhm. Are
Because
you?
man, I love them. And what's the Mandela you made?
Oh, yeah, yeah. You breaking up just a
Yeah,
little bit, but yeah, the Mandela
she made a Mandela with the
and
yin and
posted it.
yang symbol on it. I
Yeah,
forgot the title.
that was really nice, Sue Ann. Do you still have it around you? If you do, remember to put it up close to your face.
Yeah, that was a real good one. I don't remember the absolute title, but I like the colors and the warmth and the way you use the yin and yang to formulate the center of the
Yeah.
mandala. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
movements like that made you believe what her title was. Now, I'm sorry I don't remember the title, everyone, but it's a real good piece. If you go and look on Sue-Ann's site, or I believe we can put it on our page for Let's Paint and Draw Along if she wants, we can see it on there too as well. And you might agree, it's a pretty cool mandala to try to do. I would recommend people try to do it. Or Sue-Ann, did you use it for the elder classes that you were starting to as well? That would be a wonderful idea too as well. You know, but how do we make things happen? You see what I'm saying? I bring all that stuff up and Swear's work up because it's symbology, everybody. Mandalas is based upon symbology, movements of edges. How do you move edges to come to a certain, how would you say, equation? So you said daisy, so we had a little daisy there, you know? Now, how could you make it even happier? Well, you can make it in varying sizes, some of the petals. See what I mean, Nadine?
Wow.
Does it give off an energy of happy?
Yeah.
It starts to. Now we have to add more to it. Like, okay, I may add another flower that's doing more like that idea that we talked about what does that particular flower, that young lady enjoys. And we start with that basis. Look at that.
Mhm.
And we put the little piece in the middle. You see? Does that seem happy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
A
happiness
lot of
going on your page.
All right, but then that's when you say, and you look at the crowd and you look at the image and you say, okay, I'll try to attempt at a lotus. What does your lotus possibly look like next to a daisy? You know, how can you make us feel happy? You know, we're not going to be perfect. So perfection or absolute, how would you say, identity of the flower is not absolutely needed. We're saying we want to make flower shapes that are happy or feel happy within a certain type of flower. That's
Mm.
big. You see? So I believe, I don't know, we'll have to have people, jump in on it. Anything that's based on a curve movement can pretty much be bounced off to a happy idea.
Mhm.
Or am I reaching? Because remember, everybody, that's still a theory. So somebody will have to show us with angular motions a happy movement with angular motions. Maybe I do a combination of the shape that was just given to us. Starts to feel like it's pulsating. Maybe do one that looks like it's closed up. You see? Yeah, maybe make it look like some small Shasta daisies coming from underneath with little round shapes. All irregular round shapes make it look like the peanuts or something. You know how the flowers and the peanuts are all irregular shaped, but they look very happy. That's what I mean. If you look at that whole series, the peanuts, aren't all the lines in there very happy, even in the animation? No? Am I
Yes.
off key?
Yes.
No, you're on
No,
key.
you're on.
It's symbology. It's what is the symbol of happiness? Like I found out, you know what I mean, when I was in the military, that poppies were a symbol for Veterans Day.
Mm. Mhm.
I'm like, wow, how are poppies a symbol for Veterans Day? And when you do the research, you'll find out back in World War I, after they would have field skirmishes and things like this, and the ground was trampled from tanks and all this good stuff, and men falling and rising and moving and trampling things down. In the morning, in the mist, they would find that the poppy flower was the only flower that would be standing up in it.
Hmm.
So since it was such a hardy plant and, the Western influence was, the recipients of the best end of some of those skirmishes, it became a symbol from when they would see daylight and see the poppies the way they were.
Mm.
So I've been told that there's other reasons why the poppy is there, but that's one of the main stronger ones. And you can find that on the internet, everybody, when you put in for Veterans Day, or put in symbols for flowers or flowers that are symbols.
Mhm.
And you get some interesting things, Even if you put in the internet happy lines or explanation of a happy line, you may shock yourself when you may find what you find. So then look, Nadine, I still want to use your idea of the sun.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll still put the sun in, right? But then here's where we have to make a decision. An angular line, diagonal, can also mean, you know what I mean, like nil space or just things carrying through. What I mean by that is can have the sun. I'm gonna do it over here in the corner here. Can you see this over here?
I see the circle.
You can see the circle here?
Yeah, but then it goes off after that.
Okay. Don't worry, then what I'm doing is coming back this way. What I mean by the angular lines is that you have lines like this.
Yeah.
See how that looks aggressive?
Mhm.
Okay, now I'm gonna erase that away. Well, no, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put another circle down here, and now we're gonna give you this idea. Which one?
Huh.
See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I would have went with this one because now I can fill in spaces in between and around with that angular idea, and it not disturbed.
Mhm.
It gives, I would say, the idea of a template almost, or a space or a void for that to sit on top of these flowers that we made. You see?
Just that one
Yeah.
simple change.
That's it.
Huh.
Just understanding how to look at spaces and places when you're in your environments. Think about it. When the sun is like how you did it, you're probably at the beach or something.
Right.
And it's really beaming, where it's like, there like that. But think about when the sun is around densely floral areas, the light gets absorbed, the light gets refracted off of things. Think about that. The light slides all the way through. It doesn't, and it sits behind and on top, depending upon what the surface is. You see that beauty? Think about it now. You're in the forest, everybody. You're around a bunch of flowers, like how we talking. Daisies, like how Nadine started off with everybody. You may be laying in them, smelling them, and then looking through them to look at the sunlight. Wouldn't that be what this is all about right here? We're looking, how would you say, through the flowers to look at the sunlight? It could be perceived that way. What are some things that we can do before color to make it seem even happier? Well, possibly even using another diagonal line, but using a pacing where it's in between, like a pattern. Sort of like what Picasso knew was doing. Rock, the futurists using patterns. Look at how I'm using a wide space. They're not close together. If the lines are close together, wouldn't that be a certain type of aggression, possibly? Does lines further apart with more spaces allude towards happiness? Does it allude towards violence? How about combining another line that does something more serpentine in between one? See that? Maybe do the same thing here and make the lines longer. Now they say a shorter wave is really a happy wave. But in this one, I feel a longer wave. So, does that feel happy?
I feel happy.
Yeah. How about you, Suanne? What do you feel about looking at your piece, looking at what we just did on the board? Did you add anything to yours? Did you take anything away? Nadine, did you take, because I'm not looking at the computer right now, did you take away the angular lines that you had? Those red diagonal angular lines around your sun? Or did you add something around it or something in and underneath of it or over top of it to soften up those angular lines? Think about that. That's why I did that haphazard diagonal line with a lot of spacing and then a wave line in between.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I started over.
Well, see, that's okay. You know what I mean? You could have stayed on the one you had to try to bring that one forth. To say, all right, How can I make one movement to make something seem more whimsical and happy?
Mhm.
I like the sun rays. They look really happy to me.
Yeah, all right. And then how did you deal with that challenge? Did you use angular lines? Did you use a strong diagonal lines to give us to get that to go? Did you possibly use the attraction of opposites? The flowers are curved. We have an angular line in there. We can say that's the sunlight, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, you can say the sunlight is the father and the flower is the mother. You can go that way, yin and yang, you know. If you think about most of these things and then think about wind, think about how light is perceived, you'll come up with different lines too.
Mhm.
You'll start to see why you say certain things are calming to you. Think about it. If I did a drawing, a real nice and intense drawing, charcoal drawing based upon the first spring May wind coming through your window. And then in the windowsill, just put one glass of iced tea, or maybe a warm glass of tea.
Don,
Right
where's
on the
the
window.
food?
No, no food this time. I just wanted to put that little bit there because think about it. When you look at your windows and that gentle breeze is coming in the first week of spring, and your curtains and everything that you spend your money on is gently opening. You have them pulled if you still do that ideal. You pull your blinds. And you get to see that beautiful light come in, and you're sitting there, and all of a sudden you get relaxed. You got to ask
Mhm.
yourself,
Mhm.
why did I get relaxed when I saw what the wind was doing? That gentle breeze came in the window. I felt it. I smelt the newness of spring.
Mhm.
Why? What made me do that? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And if you look at it and deduce it down to edges like how we're doing, then you would have to look at the flow of the curtain,
Mhm.
you know, the shutter of the blinds, you know, the way the wind would blow through the blinds and through the screen in your window. Depend upon how your fixtures are. Depends upon if you have a thick covering or, you know, the light linen or the light satin window dressings,
Mhm.
or white or cream or some type of light pastel color, whatever your color combinations are. When you see, everybody knows it for their house when it's that time of the year. That's why I bring it up that way. Because it may not be the same in everybody's house, but the phenomena is the same. The
Mhm.
newness of spring coming in, the way the solstice and the sun tilts a certain way and the sun comes in your window a certain way. Or maybe I'm reaching everybody because I'm a naturalist and I love nature. You know what I mean? And I'm a tree hugger. I don't
I
know.
don't, I don't think, no.
Right. But what we have to do is we, as humans, we have to be able to, you know, subscribe, you know, motions and movements and things towards emotions and expression.
Mhm.
So it's a challenge. Like sometimes I use these ideas once again when I'm in behavioral places for the youth or people that are in those environments. And then I also do this in the rehabilitation centers for old timers and things like that, and dementia and, you know, just confidence building. But the main thing is, everybody, you want to deal with something that you you like or the person is really involved with to break the ice. And then just now, like how we did, make a little ledger on the left and right sides or on a previous page or the back of the page that's before the page went on. And then really challenge yourself and say to yourself, is a happy line a curved line or an angular
Mhm.
line? You know? Because we know in nature everything's curvilinear,
Mhm.
you know? I mean, like now, you could even go for the color now that you wanted to.
I can. Oh my
You
God.
could if you wanted to, but then I would still say to you within your ledger, what are happy colors then? Are pastel-y colors or interference or iridescent colors happy? Is tint colors happy?
Mm.
You see? Or are the primary colors happy colors at its highest value or at its highest intensity of vibration? See, sometimes people forget to understand about what the meanings of color can be too as well.
Mm.
Is yellow the only possible happy color? Because a lot of people go for yellow for happy, right?
Yeah.
Golden yellow. That's the first thing you think. Oh, I'm gonna make all my flowers yellow. But what about a pastel soft pink? I don't know. What about soft violet or magenta? You know, what about a real, tinted lime green or yellow green? So where it looks like a pastel Easter type of color.
Mm.
You see, these are all the things that color can provide the form. Because everything we was talking about was form, two-dimensionality at this point. Flatness. How do you make flatness happen? How do you make it perceived as a happy thing? The idea that are angular lines happy lines or aggressive lines or, angry or negative. A curved line perceived as positive, whimsical, happy. Can an angular zigzag be considered whimsical when we say the word whimsical for a line?
Could be.
I don't know. When I think whimsical, I always think curve or curvilinear.
Mm.
Could that be my, human mishap? Thinking or perceiving that angular lines are angry just because they perceive jaggedness. You know what I mean? Or something presumption of jaggedness is there. When I look around me, everything that's jagged hurts.
Mm.
You see the psychological aspects of this too as well.
Yeah.
You know, not to say that your raised for what you made earlier was wrong, Nadine. I don't want anybody to think that that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying let's look at it. Did that make it feel happy or did it take it someplace else?
Mm. Well, definitely this one is taking me someplace else.
Understand? But it was beautiful when you put those triangular, lines there, because even with little kids, when you see them with a sunlight, they'll put that around it, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll put the happy face right in that joker.
Yep. I was thinking that was where we were going, but
Oh, see, it's a lot of different ways. That'd be too easy. You're being very direct, and yeah, that's not a problem with that. But then for our session, what would that do? Everybody was like, oh, I knew you was gonna go there. Even in the recording, they'll probably say, oh, we knew you was gonna go there. But no, we want to go someplace where it really challenges your thought and your preconceived notions of what, creativity and art and expression is. What's the purposes? We go with what we're stated from earlier. You know what I mean? How is this going to assist someone? Well, get you to contemplate about the idea of what is true happiness, what is true anger.
I don't know, Don. I got to think about that one.
Yeah, because think about it. Do you use a curved line to express any type of anger? You may use a curvilinear line to show confusion. Yeah. But then do you use a jagged line for that reason? And then psychologically, why or why not? Or if you think the jagged line is happy, then, why is it happy? At what degree does an angle not become perceived as aggression?
What degree does it not?
Yeah, like think, can you see me down here at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, so then say for instance, I do triangles like this, opposed to triangles like this.
Mhm.
Same three now. Which one seems more aggressive?
The one on the left.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they both seem aggressive, but the one on the right seems more calm
Mhm.
because you may not think aggression when you see it, not less it's, how would you say, shark's teeth at that point.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Coming to eat you.
Yeah, if it's shark teeth like that, that has a bevel edge and all that good stuff on it, that looks kind of aggressive. More aggressive than the tightly spaced triangles on the left.
Mhm.
But you see how the spacing of a line
Mhm.
can make a difference in thought or in expression.
Mhm.
Just the positioning of it, the movement of it. You know,
So
it can help
spacing. Go ahead.
the spacing. What you gonna say?
So spacing becomes important.
Yeah, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
You can look at it. Which one looks more aggressive? Or are people out there that's going to be watching it and looking at this recording later? Which one seems more aggressive? The one on the right or the one on the left?
Mhm.
At the bottom of the page.
Mhm.
Ask yourself, when you see things that are angular, do you think aggression?
Mhm.
You know, when you see things as a curve, like, okay, let's do this as a curve. And then this one, like, now which one is more aggressive? The angular one or the curvilinear one?
The curvilinear is more relaxing. The
Pretty
one on the
much.
left is a little more aggressive.
But I would rather confront that than the one on top.
True.
Now, if they're buildings, that's different.
Mhm.
I still might run to the domes more so than the pyramid like.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Just
Mm.
just think about psychologically what an edge, a line does for you. How
Mhm.
important it is that human being when you're looking and you're describing your world or relaying your world
Mhm.
or look soothing things in your world. That's why a lot of times people use flower shapes for soothing things. And a curve is more so used for happiness, joy, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And all those things around that, abundance and all that, a curve is used.
Mhm.
You know? Whereas the angle thing makes things seem more, or more aggressive. What you say?
Has it coming to get you? Kind of thing.
Like, look at this. Think about it in comic books.
Mhm.
If I do this, and then go bang. See that?
Mhm.
Now, what if I do the same thing and do and then write bang?
Mm.
Which one looks more like a bang?
The top one.
What is this? You know, Nadine, which one?
Yeah, I think the top one looks more like the bang. The one on the bottom, I think somebody's throwing a paintball.
Yeah, it's more so like a splat than a bang. It's more like a kaplowy than a kabang.
Kabang, kapow.
Right. See, it's not kabang, kapow. The curved one is giving you a splat. Plooey. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or a spitting thing, tooey. But not bang. You see what I'm saying? Look at that difference, and you'll say to yourself, wow, I never really considered the movement of a line to express what? Emotion or relieve emotion.
Right. I agree.
And when it comes down to the therapeutic idea and all of that, that's what you're looking for. What line did somebody use? Because it's going to tell you the state of mind or the state of being at that moment. So I have people in certain rooms that they'll dance back and forth between a curved line and an angular line. And it'll be based upon their emotions because they have a language barrier, not meaning that they don't know English and stuff. They're like pretty much quasi catatonic when it comes to speaking because of trauma.
Right.
So speech has been, not there. So then now you're looking at, what I like to look at, you know what I mean, from my observations is the way a person uses a line to, how would you say, show you their emotional state at that moment. What I found is when somebody's really calm and they're happy-go-lucky or they're feeling real good, it's a lot of curved lines. A lot of curved lines all over the place. Even if they can't describe or draw something that can be legible, all the lines are the emotions at the time the person is very happy. Now I've seen a person, if they have certain other elements going, now that line becomes angular when they become frustrated. And you can see the line change from a curve to an angle motion. And you can see the aggression in the person because they're frustrated and angry. They might throw the pen, they might crumble the paper up, they might push the paper away, or they may kick their wheelchair away from the table. That's why I also ask people about that, you know what I mean? Because the type of line that a person puts down directly goes straight to your thought process. A lot of people don't think about that. Think about it when you're signing your name, when you're in different states of emotion. Think about it when you're signing a bill or you're signing a check to give somebody money. Or you're signing a check to give to somebody because you're trying to help them. Is the way you sign your name different in each one of those situations?
Good question.
Yeah, because if you do take a moment to check it, you might see, when I'm signing for a bill, it's like real aggressive and like almost like a doctor. I don't really want to sign it. I'm just, take it. You know what I'm saying?
It's like splat.
Yeah, like the splat one, but it'll be more aggressive, tight together, real quick. You know what I mean? Squiggle, squiggle. Let's get it. Let's get it done and get it out of here. Just check that out, everybody. Sue-Ann, you too, everybody. And then for the people that's going to be watching this on a rerun, think about that for yourselves, everybody. What does your manipulation of line look like when you're underneath different emotional states? Ooh, here's another one. Can a crosshatch be considered happy?
It has been. But it depends upon the stitch.
See, it depends upon the angle, right? And the spacing. Yeah.
You've
Yep.
taken us there.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. That's why I drew you out like that so long in the beginning. Not just to poke you and mess with you like that. No, it was
Yes, you
to
were.
get us to this point. You know, see how you're laughing now? See how you see what I'm saying? That shows that this works to
Mhm.
create, and that's the segue, because we talk offline every now and then too and she'll have an epiphany moment and she'll send me like a messenger or something.
Mhm.
And she sent me a messenger last night where we were talking, if she doesn't mind if I bring it up. You don't mind I bring it up, Sue-Ann?
She said, thumbs up.
Thumbs up? Okay. Well, she was asking me something about if the doing or the making of artwork is like the soothing part or the part that how would you say relaxes me or helps me out in crisis.
Okay.
And I made mention to her that, hey, that's everything we talk about in Pop-Up Sunday.
Mhm.
That's everything I talk about when I'm instructing, when I was at the park and any place else, because it's the absolute of the doing. That's why there's no perfection.
Mhm.
Perfection is a lie. Repetition is the
Repetition is
truth.
the truth.
Repetition is the doing. So in the doing is where you save yourself,
Mhm.
irregardless of what goes down. You know, somebody can look at it and say, that's trash, that's garbage. This guy don't know what he's talking about. That's okay. That's okay for that individual to have that moment. You know, just got to accept it, let it be, and move on. Because you know what the intent to your content was. And isn't that more important? Your intent?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all it is. So then now when you're using this on the youth, you know what I mean, all the way through to somebody that's in their 80s or they may be going through crisis, just always reinforce the doing. The
Mhm.
doing is more important.
Mhm.
Bring up aspects of their life if you know, the doing, the things that you did, you know, when you was younger to get to this point. I know it's
Mhm.
turmoil, but can we make this flower be resilient as you?
Mhm.
You know, because isn't that lotus flower, even though it's fragile, is a very resilient flower too as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So then that's when you talk about some of that and you bring that out in the artwork and make up a line for that. Do I know what that line is going to be? No, but I know it may be something of a curve though.
Mhm.
Depending upon the degree of the curve, I guess that's going to be based upon your emotional state at the moment. You know what I mean?
Wherever you are.
Yeah, because now think about those those sun ray shapes that you made, Nadine, and look at them. Think about
Yeah.
how relaxed you are now. Would you make those the same way?
No.
They would be a little bit calmer because now you can see you was in haste earlier.
I was in haste.
And now you can see how those lines show that hastiness. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
Those are
was
the things
evident.
that, yeah, those are the things that people that are instructors, art coaches like myself, or just artists in themselves that just train yourself to look, you can start seeing that. And that's
Mhm.
why when people say, how did you know that? It's like, it's not like this. No, it's looking at what you've done. And through the actions that you took, there's an idea or thought behind it. Is it an
Yeah.
absolute theory? No, I may be off sometimes. You
Mhm.
may tell me that that curve line means that you're confused. Okay, then that means that I have to try to understand when I'm seeing confusion then.
Mhm.
You see, that's how it reads to me. And then I'll remember it. Okay, that's another way to make somebody believe confusion. Because think about it, if you're doing a piece, right? And you wanted to express the idea of confusion,
Mhm.
how would you show that? You see what I'm saying? What aspect of confusion? You know? So it's the same thing with flower shapes, natural shapes, comparing it with sunlight. You see how it was. You know how we are with the something from nothing. So this still was there. So you could have, you know, said, I want to put a sun because sun is happiness. You'd have been right on point. Bang, done deal. You see where Sue-Ann went. Sue-Ann went with the, hey, flower turning towards the sun. Sunflowers do that all the time. It has to be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
She was
because
on that.
not to see sunflowers turn to, or any flower not turn towards the sun is kind of scary. That's what the sunflowers did this summer.
Mhm.
Nobody was paying attention, but a lot of sunflowers in certain areas did not turn towards the sun. To me, that's scary. What is that flower trying to tell me?
Run.
Yeah, but run where? Because, you know, it's turning from the sun. So where am I going to go but underground or in a cave? Because if I go in the house, that's just the three little piggies now. I'm waiting for something to come blow me down now, or roll over, or just pounce.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
the sunflower is telling me something, and that's how, you know, natural man used to be in the beginning. What, hunter and gatherer stages of man? Yeah. You know, they would watch the things or the environment, and the environment would tell you based upon its movement.
Mhm.
It's the same thing now. We just wait for the weatherman to say something, or the weatherwoman to say something. Well, it's going to be 70 degrees, a record high this weekend.
Get ready.
And all of a sudden, you see some people running around, you know, looking like it's still summer, spring.
Wearing
And then all of a
shorts.
sudden, that Philadelphia wind comes ripping around one of them corners. You know what I mean? And then you hear somebody say, "Oh my God, but the weatherman said it was going to be warm." You know, he didn't say a different
Summer
time
warm.
zone shift. Yeah, he didn't say a different time zone shift. He didn't say we was near the top of the Cancer was moving up to the Mid-Atlantic region. He said it was going to be a little warmer than usual. You know what I mean? There's no need to say, I can wear the shorts one more time. It's okay. But you can see how symbolism and all of that. Yeah, you got some beautiful stuff going, Nadine.
Thank you.
But
Thank
then
you.
just think about that. Yeah, just think about that though. What can a line really offer you before you get to color? And then when you get the color, what can color add to
Mhm.
the ideal form, if that's the angle you want to go? You can reverse it and let the color go first and then the form over top of the color.
Mhm.
But, you know, naturally speaking, the natural process for the human is go for the form first and then the fill in for the color, to fill in the spaces. It's just something about spaces for us as humans that is rather soothing, whether watching it or doing it. Because I have people on the elder sites where they'll leave comments like, I don't do the work with you, but I just enjoy just watching you and the other people in the room in the doing.
Mhm.
So that's soothing the people when they're in rehabilitation situations and stuff. That's the stuff I learned just from, you know, hearing responses, everybody, and the same thing we all can learn from hearing responses. So if you do have a response to this one today, please do leave one. You know, we had a little bit of a debacle earlier on, but that was okay. We worked through it. Teamwork make the dream work.
Yes,
You
it
know,
does.
and we here, and you know, we did more. You know,
Mhm.
take it a little bit further. You know, like Nadine, Swan, any thoughts, you know, on this whole idea of using linear shapes or linear line to express and to soothe and to assist in a psychiatric situation or a behavioral situation?
I will say that the flowers and the color really, really very influencing me to be happy.
Oh.
The curved lines
Mhm.
and the rays of the sun. So
Mm-hmm. I mean, because the sun adds another idea of thought to happiness at that point, because you got the sun, you got photosynthesis, you got the rays behind. Well, I got the rays behind the flowers, so it, you know, it can allude towards that whole energy and feeding and nurturing. You know, the whole nurture and nature idea of existence, tutoring and rearing. and all those things that's, relevant to human beings. Gets you to think about the process of the flower and what it takes to, how would you say, take care of the flower. Maybe we can put little round shapes, you know what I mean, Nadine? Since you said that young lady loves taking care of flowers,
Yes.
we can take some of those shapes, because rocks can be angular, but we would want them to seem more like orbs, like, just make it seem like rocks or something like that. Maybe put a teardrop on there to make it look like water. Maybe a couple of little circles, oblong circles on there to look like condensation. Early morning dew that builds up and then turns into a drip, moves. What about those ideas, ladies? Did you think about that? Maybe the cellular components of how water looks,
I like those drops.
Yeah, go for it. Use it. Go for it. Think about it. See, this is where you start to pull out what you know, what you perceive, or what you observe about the phenomenon that you want to put down, and you borrow from. All plants and flowers get condensation buildup on it. You know what I mean? And then how would that look? How could you use that to make something happen? Or will that change the psychiatric or the psychology of the piece? Would that bring in an element of sadness with a teardrop? Because our teardrops associated with happiness or sadness. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you could have happy tears.
Yeah, I know. I'm in agreement with you, but that's just something to throw out at everybody to make you think. That's the job of what our pop-ups are too as well. Just to make you like have a moment like, hey, wait a minute. Do tears mean sadness or happiness? Do a tear shape means happiness or sadness? Does the direction of it control the happiness or sadness, connotation or expression?
Maybe, yeah, direction.
Right.
What's that?
It's my
Say
cheer.
what you gonna say. I'm sorry, Nadine.
Oh, Sue Ann, she was
I
signifying.
got a tear on my finger.
Oh, you put a tattoo of a tear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Super cool.
There it is. So what is the connotation of the meaning of the tear to you, Sue Ann?
It's sadness.
Okay. Understand.
But it's only on one finger.
Oh, I'm not looking. It's not the middle finger, is it?
No, it's the index finger. Yeah.
See, I mean, I just wanted to bring it up like that because the middle finger is a symbol.
Yeah, can you imagine
Something-
if you put it on your middle finger?
Exactly. Not to take away what you was about to say, Sue Ann. I just wanted to point out that in how would you say, calamity and humor, at that point, because we were talking about symbolism and things like that. But now, go ahead. What's your true meaning for your tear in the sadness idea?
This was about tears for people that died unnecessarily. Suicide, war. That's what this is.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's a powerful shape to use for that. Wow.
Wow.
You see? I mean, symbolism is powerful, man. Symbolism is powerful, and all humans have to do it. And that means that expression is everything to a human being, which means creativity is everything to society, mankind, culture, however you want to say it. It's just so important to us as, how some of the creatures say in Star Trek, I think it was, worthless bags of water, you know what I mean? Or was that Men in Black? Yeah, that was the insect alien in Men in Black. Worthless bags of water. You know what I mean? So I don't know how many people really watch those things and listen to some of those remarks that they have in the movie that the writers write in. But I thought that was a good one on how you can call a human being something, you know, a worthless bags of water. Like,
I mean, because what percentage of us is water?
like over 75%. So the statement is really true. You know what I mean? Which makes it even more funny. You know what I mean? To see this animated CGI insect have this statement, and it makes you wonder, you know, if there are aliens that do come, you know what I mean? Do they think the same way as something that was on Star Trek or one of these sci-fi movies that have these, you know, epiphanies about what humans are?
Wow.
Yeah, but that's all within the lane of symbology, everybody. Symbols, and you can throw metaphor in there too as well. You know, myth or mythos, you know what I mean? You can throw that in there.
Mythos in action.
Yeah, because all these things use symbology as its basis to drive an expression, emotion, thought, or explanation.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, if you really look at it, it's the masterful use of what an edge is, you know, the control of an edge, you know. And that's mainly what we're saying. How do edges make people perceive happiness? And ultimately, what is happiness? Where does it reside around us as human beings? You know, I mean, because somebody could have challenged it and said, well, you know, I got an angular ring, a ring that has a bunch of triangular shapes. And every time I look at it, it's silver and it makes me, you know, smile when I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
The person wrong for that? No, but that's another explanation for an angular movement or an angular form. You know, what percentage of society or humans, you know, perceive it the same way would be interesting to me. Because then that would mean, okay, we have to expand our idea on what happiness is. We have to expand our idea of, you know, what a straight line is and what a curved line is. You know, you see what I'm saying? And what does it mean in a human's world when we use it as an expression? Because I mean, you can look at typefaces too. You can look at a curved typeface and that A still is an A, whether it's a triangular shape or a curved shape. Right? If you look at all the different, you know, letterheads and typefaces that we have that we use, you know, typefaces that we use on the computer now, you can look at all of them if you can, or, you know, look at like 5 of them or 6 of them, you know, and then notice how each letter looks in each form. Pick a curved one, pick an angular one, pick a block one, and pick 2 of each one. See what I'm saying? You know, the masterful use of edges to express an idea or thought, you know?
Yep. I was drawing a couple of typefaces of the letter A.
Yeah, come on, go for it, Nadine. I was just talking off to the side. I really wasn't looking at the camera, so good business. Way to go. You know, and that only came up for me looking at the board and looking at the differences between our bang and our other bang that's like a splat. I almost want to take bang out of there and just put splat. You know what I mean? Because think about it. If you remember our era, you guys, where the original theatric Batman series would be on TV, right? Wouldn't they use that curvilinear one down there for spam or blam?
They
And
sure
then
did.
bang and boom was always angular. There it is. You know it. Go, Nadine. Holy cow, Batman. Yeah, that's when you can see that our angles that we put up there, everybody. So some of you guys that were born after the 90s or even after the 80s, you might not know about that. You know what I mean? That's when the computer took over and everything had to actually look like they was making the sound. No more underdog and stuff like that when you see the pals and the poof. and the booms and all, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Because now you got to look at it when we stop buying it from the newspaper stand.
Mm-hmm.
The minute that we stopped that, then the boom and the bang started to be limited in the cartoons.
I mean, it's still an anime, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, you see, it's not even along the lines of the Marvel comic, the swooshes, and DC Comics swooshes and swams and stuff like that. But I bring all that up once again, everybody, is just to look at the power and the beauty of edges and lines,
Mm-hmm.
and then how we can describe an emotional state with just a linear equation or a two-dimensional idea, length and width,
Ooh, I'm
And
torn.
then,
I'm torn.
yeah, you got two pieces. That's excellent.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you want.
I wasn't
got
expecting these.
Yeah, you got more than what you thought. That's what happens a lot of times on the journey.
Mhm.
You're like, wait a minute, I like this. Oh, I
Mhm.
can just put this shape here. Oh, I can make up the flower? Yeah, you could have made up the flower. Or you can just say it's an actual flower, or you can take 3 of the flowers that you like and put it together.
Mhm.
What would your made up flower look like? These are the things I use when I'm doing the behavioral sciences. And you'd be shocked how that calms a person down and gets them to think
Mhm.
and gets them to relax and connect, and release.
Mm.
Honestly, you get a person thinking about the flowers, or some people, they don't have a favorite flower. They never thought about it. We take it for granted everybody has a favorite this and a favorite that. Think about people that they're not little kids, they're not under 10. I bump into people 30, 40 years old and
Mm.
50s and 60s that they didn't really have a favorite anything.
Mm.
They never really thought about it like that, or they never was in a position to think like that.
Right.
Which is astonishing to me, because every human being that you bump into, to small or large, they got a my situation. You know what I mean?
Everything's
Everybody has a
mine.
my, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have a cup that if I came in your house and grabbed it, you'd be like, oh, excuse me, that's mine, mine.
Mine.
You use this cup over here. That's why I brought these cups.
Mm-hmm.
Or you'd be a little bit kinder. You'd be like, oh, hold on a second. You got the wrong cup. Here you go. Yeah. Come on, think about it. I can't be the only one having this much fun with that, man.
No, you're right. For sure, for sure.
Say, for instance, you like squared off shapes, and I take your mug that you specially got made, and I chisel it and hammer it down to a round shape. See how you laughing, Nadine? But you ain't
Yeah.
laughing like it would be cool, something cool and okay. You laugh like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
If that was my favorite item, Don, you'd be hurt, boy. You know what I mean? You see? But
Mhm.
think about how edges form what?
Mhm.
Control,
Yeah.
possession. Something looks like a clam shape. You like clam shapes.
Mhm.
Everything in your house is going to have that type of curvilinear clam shape too.
Mm.
You know, I won't go into all the things about the solstice and your birth date. All that, when people get down to that, explains why you like certain shapes. No, I'm just going to leave it here at its natural state, where you say it's something that you like flowers.
Mm.
And then you have to find out, you have to say to yourself, what are all the things that connect with flowers that can make a person happy or compensate?
Mm. Mhm.
See, if the person likes to care for the flower, then most of everything you're going to talk about then will be, okay, what are some of the shapes that we can put in that represents the things that I would have to do to take care? Like, what type of dirt shape is the dirt? Is it
Mm.
clumpy? Is it small and granular? What type of dirt consistency does it have to be? You think about it, when you look at the dirt, it has to have a certain shape for you to understand and know if that's the right dirt.
That's true.
It has to have a right color or tonality, right?
Mhm.
So then you can simplify those ideas and make them into symbols.
Mm.
Like I did in the lower right corner, which looks like rocks or maybe, water or maybe something else, maybe seeds. I don't know.
Mm.
And then you see the line, the diagonal line coming down there, which represents the sunlight. What can happen when the sunlight hits the ground?
Mm.
And what happens if that teardrop hits that same spot where the sunlight and that dirt is, or where what maybe a seed is there? Something may generate or germinate.
Mhm.
Yeah. Then when I was doing the kids from K through like 7th and 8th grade, you have a vocabulary, and all the words we just used become a vocabulary list.
Mhm.
So I like to give it all different ways on how you can use it. You know what I mean? Then with
Yeah.
somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia, right?
Mhm.
You start, how would you say, saying where you can write in the name of the flower?
Mhm. Mhm.
Who would you give a flower to? Or could you write down the process on how we care for the flower on this piece somewhere? So as if
Mhm.
this serves as a purpose of letting everybody know how to care for a certain flower that you love.
Mhm.
Write that one down, Nadine. I'm throwing you some juicy ones, man.
I know.
Come on, these are the things that you can use in your private realm.
Mhm.
I'll say it that, because these are some of the things that I use to pull out in people when maybe I have a group session already planned out where we're talking about nature.
Mhm.
And then I may throw something out like, all right, well, in nature, I know the main thing is sunlight, but the one
Mhm.
thing that I really truly love is flowers.
Yeah.
And then now you just start asking people, do you have a favorite flower? Like,
Mhm.
and then you'll know, you'll hear rose, you'll hear some of the basic ones,
Mhm.
daisy,
Mhm.
tulip, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now you can see where it goes from there. Now, depending upon, you know, the age group, the modality is controlled. If it's under K through 12, then you can make it a vocabulary list and things like this. If it's a person in crisis, then you can just pull out that flower and say, well, what does that look like?
Mhm.
And then it doesn't have to be a real rose. What does the rose look like that you're thinking about? Just with
Mhm.
basic shapes. And then always reiterate to them, perfection is a lie, repetition is the truth.
Mhm.
And then you'll watch the person decompress right in front of you. Now, if
Mhm.
there's a language barrier, you just have to put the shapes down and talk
Mhm.
in real layman American terms because everybody knows broken English language.
Yeah.
You know, ooh, put that there, put there,
There.
put line there.
Mhm.
Not the line, not like how you would say it to somebody that's, fully in grasp of the English language.
Mhm.
Well, why don't you think about putting a line here and then putting a diagram? You can't say it like that if you have a language barrier.
Mhm.
You have to point sometimes and just move your finger in the direction. Repetition is real big when there's a language barrier.
Mhm.
And then when you and the person will say it in their language. And if they say it more than 3 times, then it means the movement that you're moving, and you go, yes.
Mhm.
Because everybody universally understands yes and no.
That is true.
Or you can do thumbs up, thumbs down. I've done that with people. Mainly European nations I've done that with when people didn't have a
Mhm.
grasp of English. To say
Mhm.
okay, I would just do our normal okay sign. They'd be like, oh, and I go thumbs up. Hey, that was good. That was good. And I'll say that was
Mhm.
good. And they go, oh, okay, that means good. You know what I mean? Then thumbs up. And then sometimes I would do, oh, nah, and then, do like this, meaning no, or thumbs down, meaning nah. These are all universal. These are the things that you would use.
Mhm.
And you, believe it or not, the tone of your voice and in your face too as well. Person
Mhm.
looks at you and you say, don't worry, and you got a grimace on your face.
Don't
You got a scowl
worry.
on your face. You don't worry. Nah, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? The person is going to be skeptical. But if you really look at them like just dangerous smile, your eyebrows up, you know, you know what I mean? Or half a smile in the center, you know what I mean? With the head cocked to the side. One of those type of, yeah, that one like that. Then the person thinks you're condescending. But if you look them straight up forward and you're nodding your head straight up and down from 6 to 12 and you're smiling and you're saying yes, or you're saying wow, or you're saying good, or it's going to be read like that universally. Because the head nods straight up and down. 6 to 12, 6 to 12 with a smile and eyebrows in a happy position or a relaxed position. Any scowl on your face, the person's not going to believe you. That's all the nonverbal world that people don't think about when you're dealing with people, which is still universal, because that goes back now, Nadine, to that conversation we had. It's sign language in English or in different languages. You see what I'm saying? So once you see something like that going down, then you have to ask yourself, well, what else functions like that? Symbols of flowers and things function like that? Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, it all does. We wouldn't have languages. We wouldn't have alphabets. We wouldn't have Kemetic text, Egyptian text, hieroglyphics, Sumeric text. However you want to, you know, express it. We wouldn't have what you call a codex or what we call now, you know, generally speaking, as an alphabet of any sorts if you didn't have symbology. And the understand of lines and edges being communication devices.
So true.
Yeah. And that's just the observation. That's not me going to read and go through all the modalities that you would have at college, the columns and rows, to express what we just talked about. This is just based upon observation, everybody, and understanding that everything, I know for a fact, now I can say this strongly, that everything comes from around you. Every thought, even down to vortexes and multiverses and all of that. It comes from right around you, the observation of spaces and the things and the materials that are around you. If it's not true, why did they fly a kite in the sky? To try to attract electricity. Or attract what we saw as an energy called electricity. And so on and so forth. Think about everything in your world and how it was perceived. It's just like another one. All your innovators and everything don't really have an education or a real degree.
Isn't that something though?
That's beautiful to me. But but if you look at somebody like myself that paid for school, it kind of pisses you off, yo. You know? It does. I'm being honest. I just have to be honest. Maybe other people are not that honest. I don't know. Once they hear the re-recording, maybe they'll take it a certain way. Maybe they'll feel like me. You know what I mean? Like when I found that, I was like, wow. So I could have put that money towards something else and just stuck to studying and having human experiences to get to the same point.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the only thing with that, you know what I mean? I don't regret anything, everybody. Don't think that. I'm just saying when you observe things and you look at it, you're like, huh, check that out. All the guys that are innovative or college and high school dropouts or never even walked in the building. You know what I mean? You know
walked in and walked right back out.
Never walked in at all. They just never walked in. Their parents was prolific or had enough of influence and pull, and before it was called home training, was at home getting mentorship.
Right. That's deep.
Yeah. So just something to think about, everybody, about the idea of symbology and symbolism and the power of a line, the power of shape, and how that really soothes and helps and assists the human being in their everyday endeavors. Now I land my plane there, everybody.
He's landing it, and then you landed it gracefully.
We try our best, don't we? Yeah.
We do. We do. We landed it. And I got two pieces that I
There you
signed
go.
already.
That's what I'm happy about. That's why I didn't start nothing on paper. I did it all on the board. I said, okay, Nadine done got started. I'm gonna put the pressure on her today. Yeah.
Oh,
But it
oh.
worked though. You see how you worked it out though?
Yeah, but that was after the stress.
No, after you had the fart, you had to create a fart, and
I
then
had to
now you
create a
start
fart.
that. Yeah, you just
Right.
let it all go. That when it all built up, you let it go. Pow, it decompressed,
And I
and
got
then
my
you started
markers.
gathering.
Yep.
Now what you can do is before you absolutely color it, scan it in so you can have it as a black and white. Remember?
Oh
Can't forget
yeah,
that
that's
from
right.
you
That's
see
why
that.
that's why I keep it at this shape, because any larger, it's not going to fit in the printer.
Right, that's what I'm saying, especially your home scanner.
My home
So that's
scanner,
the
I
main.
can.
Right. You want to be able to scan that, everybody, and then you can have it forever as a black and white linear equation.
Forever, forever.
Yep. And then whenever you want to print it out, or you want the kids that's around you that come to the house, you may have some kids that are very active. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hey, go to your printer, print out one or two or a couple of those things you got there, throw them down on me and say, hey, you guys, come on over and want y'all color for a little while.
Let's color for a little bit.
There you go. And then the ones that show that I can draw this, then all right, here's a blank piece of paper. Let me see you. No tracing, but let's see you draw it.
Mm-hmm.
Just have at it. You'll be amazed what that does, no matter what the age group is. It could be a teenager, it could be somebody that's suffering from a broken leg, young kid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or it can be, unfortunately, the real true crisis situation where this can be
Yeah.
applied.
Yeah.
I've applied it in all those arenas, everybody, and it's based upon you as being the individual that's bringing the thought.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not happy, then they're not going to be happy. If you become confused, they're going to be
Gonna be
confused.
confused.
Right? If you give up in a violent way, they're going to give up in a violent way.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, all right, we're not going to give up, but why don't we just talk? Now you see why I talk a bunch, because a lot of times the talking is what connects everything and gives you a moment to decompress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the person to reevaluate and redirect themselves. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I say always try to key it in on what the individual may or may not like, or may
Yeah.
like, or may not, and then go from there. I like to go with the like more so than the not like.
That's true. It's much better.
Well, it keeps the person to go into the soothing state faster,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they connect with what they like to make the imagery come to life.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll remember it more. Because I've had people remember the sessions and then tell their psychologist or tell their teacher or their mom on things, and then they'll try to share it again because they had such an open session, like it let them let out so much.
Right.
So the whole thing is how do we stand out the way to have an expressive moment, even in crisis?
Ooh. Yeah. Because we do get in the way.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. And how do you do that? And then how do you get out of the way when it seems like the person truly wants to give up? And there's ways to have that as well.
Yeah.
Start conversating about something that's around what you're talking about. The imagery is.
Right.
So like how I was talking about the flower, I said, well, what things go into taking care of this flower? Because you really do a hell of a job taking care of these flowers if that's what the person does. They like the upkeep of nature. So they're meticulous over that. They talking and they love to have the dirt in their hands. So if that's part of it, to talk about that more so than the drawing, then when they calm down, you say, okay, well, can we make dirt shapes? And then you show them what a dirt shape may look like. Use a curve. Can't go wrong with a curve.
Can't go wrong with a curve.
Yeah, when you understand the shapes.
We discovered that today.
That's the whole line, shape, form, light, surface idea. Yeah. Because we didn't even get into the tonality. What tones are happy? Not the color. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just the intensity or the value or the achromatics, the colorless color scheme, where you're just looking at darks and lights. You know, would anything in between 0 and 40% be happy?
Yeah.
You know,
Could be, yeah.
could be perceived. Is anything towards 100% darkness and 60% darkness or 50% darkness? Could that be perceived as happiness?
Could be.
Depends upon its placement, right?
Could be, yeah.
Depends upon its placement. So that's what I try to leave you two ladies with.
Yeah.
Everybody that's going to be watching, because I have to deal with it too when I'm doing pieces. Like, look, I'm using cartoons in the classroom, in the instruction sessions now with some of the elders. So what I do is, I do these quick drawings of the characters, like that's Camp Dracula, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then now we have the Wolfman. And then now they really enjoy Frankenstein. And then now we have the Mummy too. But then we have other things too as well. See that?
Ooh, sweet.
So then now we also have some other things like, I'll show you this one. I did this for the election day session, and they really liked it. Like a lot of people didn't know what symbols was for Democrats and Republicans. So, I broke it down to some of them, and they started remembering, like, oh yeah, Jimmy Carter. Oh yeah, this one, donkeys for Democrats, right? And then you have the elephant for Democrats. For Republicans. But then for election day, I did the donkey saluting. And then we did the same thing. Everybody liked the elephant saluting. He's funny. You see? Symbology, everybody. One last one I'll show everybody. Based upon the ideas of symbolism, using a moment in a time and space. What are we about to roll into now? Turkey Fest, right?
Yeah.
So imagine on Thanksgiving Day, if your turkey looked at you like this.
You gonna eat me now?
Come on, man. Or what if you looked out and you went to the store, right? And before you got inside the store, you looked at the turkeys that was about to become, dinners, and they were all outside like this.
Please.
Okay.
I'm praying for you.
Now here's one more. What if they were trying to do like Gomer Pyle, be in the service so that you can't, eat me, possibly? The turkey would look something like this, saluting me. All right. So those are all the ideas. Now, what I do with those that you just saw is when we do a craft day, I have them work out on things like that. And I draw them out within the idea of, say, for instance, if there's a national day of some sort, like a national candy day or something like that, then I'll make candy bars. And we'll do candy bars. So then they'll color them in and then cut them out. We're using for decoration. But then on the other 2 days, I don't bring those in. We're actually drawing them out. So like how I'm doing with everybody on the board here, I'll be showing them basic shapes, breaking it down slowly on basic shapes. So each elder in the room can make their own drawing. So if I showed some more of their drawings, like I had to, I got 2 centennials that I deal with now, but the one she was really willing, she does cute little cabbages when I talk about food because she likes cabbage. So she looked at me and said, Don, I'm gonna do my cabbages. I said, yes, indeed, ma'am. Get them little cabbages in there. She colors them in with her green markers. She's just so happy to do her cabbages, because she likes, I showed her how to do I show her big, right? But she always does them small.
Oh, okay.
because she's small.
Okay.
It's not a confidence thing. It's just that she's small.
Mhm.
So she's making everything look small and cute. So her cabbage, I say, look like Brussels sprouts. So these are the things you can do, everybody, when you're dealing with another person, when you're talking to somebody. And that's how I believe these things can really assist human beings in moments of crises or moments in thought or just in common, gatherings and things like that. To be creative is the key. And that's why I say 24/7, 365. Let's keep creating, keep creating, everybody.
Yeah, let's keep creating, everybody. Man, what a way to close.
Yeah.
What a way to close.
There you go.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And let's paint and draw along for our.
She's still there?
Yeah, she took off.
Well, thanks, Sue Ann, on the retake. If you watch the retake, thanks for coming through and spending time with us on Sunday evening again. Always appreciate it.
And also, if you want to join us, you just hit us up and we'll send you the link and you can join us live. Okay.
Be part of the happy chaos too. Well,
yes, be a part of the happy chaos. But with that, we're going to let Don go because he's got a student lined up because he does private sessions.
Yep, I got 1 hour, everybody.
1 hour. And if you're interested, we have the link in the comment section or the chat section. Okay, I did put the link. You can reach out to Don there. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again soon. And remember, keep creating, everybody. Yeah.